Hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. Glad you could join me. Today I'm doing another tag. This one's for Jack at the Vinyl Martini. 'Tis the season to be tagging. Fa la 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 la. Sad Bastard tag, Vinyl tag 2025 that some argue might have come a little bit early. I'm okay, controversy be damned. There's movie soundtrack, there's around the world, there's a lot of sort of contests and tags. Truth be told, I really love doing these because there's structure and it's really fun to kind of go through your collection and think what best suits the question or the topic that's being presented. But the flip side of it is that I tend to get kind of like wound up trying to find the best and making sure, like for example, if it's this one, which is a compilation, do I have any better compilations to show? I can have no problem pulling out 10, 20, 30, but I want to show 10 that are the most interesting, best, fun to talk to. Below I'll put the link to Jack's Vinyl Martini contest, no money. He's giving some money to the food bank, one of the food banks here in British Columbia, I believe, and a very good cause. But the other reason I love doing these things, besides showing you guys stuff that I really love, is it reminds me, oh yeah, I haven't listened to that in ages. I got to listen to that again. So I've kind of bunched this into 4 groups. I've got jazz compilations. I've got more recent compilations that I've got. I've got older compilations from quite a bit longer ago, and I've got a couple like new wave compilations that were really ones that I loved listening to and also either introduced me to or went deeper on artists that I really like. So let's get going, shall we? Before I do that, one of Jack's requests is to shout out a channel. I'm going to mention 2 channels. So he had mentioned Mfidelity, Dave. Connected 1 degree of separation. Dave had gone over to Tokyo, met Brian at Tokyo Record Style. So, he and I have been watching each other's videos, I know, through comments. So hello, Dave, and let's get him some more subscriptions. The other one is somebody else I met over in Tokyo, Adam, and he's got a channel called On an Island, referencing David Gilmour's record and kind of a cool concept. And Adam is quite new to the VC community, and so go over, check out his stuff. He really knows his stuff, a lot of jazz, but rock and roll as well, and a mixed bag of things. A young guy. We need more young guys, less old guys. I'm going to pump myself right out of the VC community. Okay, let's go. Jack showed this. Apparently Rob Walker showed this. This must have been out there in spades. Superbad is back. K-Tel, 20 original hits, 20 original stars. And you can see on Jack's video what's on here, but Gladys Knight and the Pips, Midnight Train to Georgia, a lot of soul stuff. I'm doing Fine Now by New York City, Barry White, Kool and the Gang, really good stuff. Another old one, the Bomp record label. And this is a compilation of Bomp material. Probably recognize that guy, Iggy Pop. Iggy and the Stooges, or Iggy, was on the Bomp label for a while. I'm not sure how long, but there's a great EP or single, I'm Sick of You, and Tight Pants, Scene of the Crime. This is the Bomp record label. So along with Iggy, another well-known act, Flamin' Groovies, were on Bomp for a while, and it was always a label that I was quite interested in. Lots of interesting bands on here. The Weirdos, 2020, go way back. Way back. 24 groovy greats. The cover almost looks like some kind of candy that should be eaten, right? Pretty basic cover. This has got like Little Eva's Locomotion. We've got Chapel of Love, Mockingbird, Charlie Brown by the Coasters, some classic old hits. And a seasonal compilation from Motown. A Motown Christmas. When you think Motown, of course, you got to have like the Jackson 5. They're doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But it's got everybody. It's got Smokey and the Miracles, Stevie Wonder, Temptations. A Motown Christmas. So yeah, pulling this out and it's like, oh, I got to put this on over the holidays. I tend to stream my Christmas music, but no need to do that. Let's go back to, or forward, I guess, to sort of new wave stuff, post-punk stuff. And this particular compilation, just a collection of acts that I absolutely love. So you've got The Clash with London Calling, you've got Madness, Bad Manners, the old two-tone, or at least the ska days, Nuclear Device by the Stranglers, all that jazz, Echo and the Bunnymen, the Au Pairs, and It's Going to Happen, Feargal Sharkey and the Undertones. I think that's off of maybe Positive Touch, I think. Or no, Hypnotize, maybe. All right, one other outstanding sampler was the Vertigo sampler. So the way this was advertised, a 2 LP set for the price of a 12-inch single. Super good value there. There are the acts and the releases. What I love about this is they go 2 songs deep for most of the artists. So they've got The Cult, actually one for them, one for ABC. They've got 2 for Big Country. Jenny Loves Jezebel. It's got a track. Dexy's Midnight Runners, Tears for Fears, This Mortal Coil, Cocteau Twins. So it's compiling music from, and I guess because this is Vertigo, and this is maybe Polygram here in Canada. Polygram, 4AD, and Beggar's Banquet. So that's a hell of a pull in terms of where to get the music. So this was a sampler I really played a lot in the day. More recent stuff, one of my favorite series, Late Night Tales. So this is music to be played or is designed and orally sculpted for late night listening. And they're all curated by different artists or bands. I think mostly bands. They've got John Hopkins. They've got Bad Bad Not Good. They've got Krungbin. They've got Air. A lot of bands that you think would probably be really good at doing this, you know, because of their bonobo, things like that. So this one is curated, as you can see, by the Cinematic Orchestra. This is one of my favorites. This is the one that has the track You're Gonna Miss Your Candyman by Terry Collier that turned me on and made me go deep into the Terry Collier collection, discography. And that track in itself is just outstanding. What Color Is Love is the album, and I ended up buying that because of that. So it kind of brings me to what it is about compilations that I really love. So one aspect of it is it introduces you to music that you never heard of. Usually by their very nature, compilations are spotty. I mean, what I like, what you may like, what the person who curated it might like may be very different. But it is a great introduction tool. And what I love about these Late Night Tales series is they're almost always so well planned, curated, and sequenced so that it flows, you know, and usually they're extremely varied music. So they'll draw on jazz and electronica and rock, but usually a little quieter stuff, and tends to be stuff that flows really well. And I love that. So this particular one, the Cinematic Orchestra, Late Night Tales, it's got Flying Lotus, Nick Drake's 3 Hours, the Terry Collier song I mentioned, Tom York, a cinematic orchestra, couple cinematic orchestra songs on here, Björk's Yoga, Imogen Heap, Burt Bacharach, Burial, Steve Reich. So, you know, as you can tell, pretty good cross-section of stuff. This is another series that I really enjoy, Mr. Bongo. So their mandate really is to go out and find music. But basically, this is all, I think, kind of crate digging. You know, it's an offshoot of the whole nature of crate digging. And for those people like DJs in particular, who would be going off and finding really nice grooves and sounds from more obscure records and then incorporating that into their DJ sets, is my understanding. So this Mr. Bongo series, this particular one is volume 4. And for me, like, there isn't a single artist on here that I actually know their name. I don't know any of the music. So this is 100% new material for me to absorb, and just some really great stuff. And a lot of it comes from South America, Latin America. It comes from places other than, North America or Europe. And so I really love that. Mr. Bongo Record Club. It's a whole series. This is volume 4. This might be my favorite to date, but I collect them, to be honest, and then I sort of save them. And when I'm in the mood, I put them on. And I'm not always aware of, you know, which one is better than the other. It's more the tracks that kind of stand out that I really love. Mr. Bongo Record Club, volume 4. Another one that I have really enjoyed is And I think there's two of these, both doubles. We Are the Children of the Sun. And the music is very much in line with the cover. The cover does a very good job of indicating what the music is. And this is something that I would never have bought in the past, but just quickly mention kind of their mandate or how they describe what they're doing here. Gather beneath the sun and turn on to strum soft rock and blissful Balearic beats as they echo across the dunes. So this is really easy listening, soft rock. But because it's obscure and stuff you haven't heard before, and they also are crate digging and finding stuff from all around the world, there are some really beautiful songs on here. And I think it's also nice that I'm now of an age in my life where I'm not just sitting and judging something because of its production. I can sort of listen and enjoy the sound and not feel like, this is just middle of the road crap. Just have these little descriptions below the artist's name. So psychedelic folk, bright, mid-tempo for one of the tracks. Other one is femme vocal, soft, chill out. Another one, flute, laid back, Brazilian. So these little labels that kind of describe what the song is like. And I've enjoyed both of these records. Really nice, kind of chill out records. Another series that I think I only have one record of, but I quite like, is Spiritual Jazz series. So Spiritual Jazz is number 16. This focuses on Riverside, etc. So mostly Riverside and other kind of adjunct. I don't know if it's subsidiaries of Riverside or maybe ones that followed. Yeah, like Milestone. So Oren Keepneus, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right. I think he went on to do Milestone, another label, and I think there's some of that stuff on here. But often modal. It's not as crazy as it might sound. If you think of John Coltrane's more spiritual stuff, many of us, I would say, would find that a little bit hard to grok, as it were. But some of this is a little more challenging, and it's always good to be challenged. But it's also, a lot of it is really, as it sounds, spiritual. And so it creates a mood and really good stuff. One I just got from the November Record Store Day is the Vinyl Dispenser. I keep saying Vinyl Dispensary. The Jazz Dispensary, great label. And this particular, I love the vinyl, so it's sort of blue with gold. It just reminds me of when I was a kid. Anything that looked like it had gold, I kept thinking, is that real gold? Is it valuable? That worth something? So Jazz Dispensary. This one's got Sonny Rollins, Vince Guaraldi, Hampton Hawes, Nat Adderley, Gene Ammons, and it's very soulful. It's sort of soulful and funky with a jazz bent to it for sure. It's very nice. This one here is also a recent one. This is a compilation, is a tribute album to Lou Reed. Really like this. The Keith Richards' I'm Waiting for the Man is, he's almost outdoing Lou there, and you can see where Lou Reed and Velvet Underground stuff and the Rolling Stones meet perfectly. There's some other really nice stuff here as well. Rufus Wainwright, such a gorgeous voice, doing Perfect Day. The Afghan Wigs, I Love You, Suzanne, which is great. I'll always love that track. And Lucinda Williams, Legendary Hearts. Don't like that version so much. But nice compilation. Lou, The Power of the Heart. And this is a Record Store Day from last Record Store Day. And finally, some older, or at least some jazz comps that I really like. So this one really introduced me to a lot of jazz. Got this sort of in the mid 80s, and it was a great gateway into the world of jazz. Some of the stuff on here, just perfect. Blue Train, John Coltrane, Cristo Redentor. It's always been one of my favorite compositions of anything. Donald Byrd, which is off A New Perspective, but that track is great. Song for My Father, Horace Silver. So, the Sidewinder, Lee Morgan. So this is so well curated in terms of an introduction to the genre of jazz, and who better to do that than Blue Note. And that was really good. And then when I was in university, I took a music history course, and one of the sort of primary texts, as it were, was this Smithsonian collection of classic jazz. I pulled this out and thought, well, I haven't played this in ages. But it goes through, I believe, chronologically, the birth of and the development of jazz, at least up until probably the 70s. So it starts with Scott Joplin and Maple Leaf Rag and Jelly Roll Morton. It's got Louis Armstrong, Sidney Bechet, all the female vocals, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, and it goes all the way up to Ornette Coleman. I believe it's the free jazz stuff of Ornette Coleman. Nice box set. It's got a great booklet, so this is also a great way to learn about the music. And yeah, so this is a great thing to go back to. Again, mostly classic tracks from some of the key sort of landmark or the key artists of that time. So, Jack, vinyl tag. Hope you guys are doing this. I think this is a great reason to do it as well, to raise money for the food bank or to have that opportunity. And carpe diem. There'll be more. Gonna still do my best in 2024. That's the one that really gets me anxious. Have I really got everything? Have I really evaluated? Is this really the best? Am I just virtue signaling that this is a great record and that people might really like it? Anyways, to be determined. Carpe diem.